Hello everyone, and welcome to another Leetcode video. Today we're looking at the problem count almost equal pairs, which is question 2 of Weekly Contest 412. This was a medium question, but it kind of fits in with Leetcode's recent trend of harder contest problems, so it was definitely a tricky Q2, and I think it used some more explanation. So the question reads that we are given an array nums consisting of positive integers. We can call two of the integers x and y in this problem almost equal if both of the integers can become equal after performing an operation at most one time on those integers. So we can choose either integer x or integer y, and we can swap any two digits, right? And then if at that point they become equal, we can call those almost equal, and we want to record the number of almost equal pairs that we have in this nums array. And one thing that is very important for this question, and a lot of people may have overlooked during the contest, is that our integers are allowed to have leading zeros. And what does a leading zero mean? So you'll see that if we have 3, that's technically equal to 0, 3, which is equal to 0, 0, 3, equal to 0, 0, 0, 3, and so on, right? So essentially, we can have any number of leading zeros in front of our integers, and they would still be valid. So one example is here. We're given the nums 3, 12, 30, 17, and 21, and our output is 2. And the explanation is this. So we can find a pair in 3 and 30, so we could take the 30 and we can swap the 3 and the 0, and then we get 3. Because remember, we have 3, 0. We're taking this 30, we're swapping them, which becomes 0, 3, which is technically 3, even though we have the leading 0. We also have 12 and 21. We could swap the 1 and 2 and 12, and we get 21. So let's take a close look at this example and see exactly how we can solve it. So the first thing we want to think about is, how can we tell if we can do a swap and make these characters equal? So let's take the case of 12 and 21. So the first thing that we can do here is we could check if the count of the numbers is the same, right? So if we were to just count up all these numbers that appear, we'll see we have 1, 1 and 1, 2, and then we have 1, 1 and 1, 2 here. So this checks out. This is the first check that we can do. The other thing we want to do is we want to go index by index, and what we want to see is that we have at most 2 places that do not match. So you'll see here we have, let's call this I and I. So here at index I, we can see that these don't match, so we can record a mismatch right here. Then we can move on. Our I can move up to here and move up to here. Then we see 2 and 1 don't match, so we can record that as well. So you see here that we have at most 2 mismatches. So it's met our 2 tests. The counts are equal, and we have at most 2 mismatches. This works for us. However, let's take another case. So we saw that we can technically swap 3 and 30, right? Technically, these are almost equal. But you'll see this kind of fails one of our tests, because if we're going to do the count of the number of characters here, we'd have 1, 3, we'd have 1, 3, and then we'd have 1, 0, right? So here we see that immediately these are not the same. So this kind of adds a bit of a wrench into our problem. So how can we account for this? So what we're going to do is kind of some string manipulation. And what we want to do is we actually want to make the length of all of our elements the same. And how do we do that? Well, we're going to find the length of the longest number in our array. So we see we have, this is 2, this is 2, this is 2, this is 2. So we'll see that our max is 2. And then any other number that is not equal to this max, we want to add some leading zeros to it. So you see in this case, the only actual one that we need to add is to 3. So what this would become is now we'd have an array 0, 3, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 7, and 2, 1. So what does this help us do? So if we revisit this example here, what we now see is that we have 0, 3, and we have 3, 0. So what can we do? Well, we know the counts are now the same, right? Because we have 0 appears one time, 3 appears one time, 3, 1, right? So if we compare these counts, we see these are the same. And then let's go through to our other check. So we have I here, we see these are not equal, so we count 1. These are not equal, so we count 1 again, and we see this is less than or equal to 2. So this is the kind of logic for how we're going to figure out if a pair is almost equal. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that they're all the same length. Then we're going to do these 2 checks. We're going to make sure that the counts of the elements that appear in the string are the same, and also that the number of mismatches is at most 2. So once we have this formatted array, right, where they're all the same length, how do we actually go and find the pairs? Well, from here, it's just a very simple brute force kind of algorithm. We're going to go through every single pair, and we can do this because the length of our n is less than or equal to 100, so we could definitely brute force it, but we'll just go through every pair. We say, let's look at ij. We could check if these two are almost equal, and then move on, just kind of keeping track of the number of pairs that we see. So you go ij here, check these will be almost equal, go over to here, check these, etc., etc. So essentially, we're just going to go through this in a nested way, brute force, and just check every single pair and keep account of that. So what's the time complexity of the solution? In order to get our formatted array here, right, we have to do this in O of m times n time. And here n is the length of nums, and our m is the max length of nums. Right? So essentially n is going to be the length of our array, and m is going to be the length of the longest integer that we have in the array. So to get this formatted array here, we have to do this in O of m times n time, because we're going to go through every element in the array, which is n, and then to build that new string with the leading zeros, that will take m time for each one. Then for our nested loop, what we're going to do is we're going to do this in O of n squared time, right? So to go through this in a nested way in our array, we have to do this in O of n time. But for each one, we have to do m work. And this m work is going through both of those strings, keeping track of the counts, and then also doing the mismatch checks. So we're going to do O of m times n to actually build our new array where they're all the same length. Then we're going to go through this array in O of n squared time, and for each iteration do O of m work. So we can simplify this down to O of n squared times n. Really, for big O complexity, we just care about the biggest. So we can say this is O of n squared time, but more accurately, this would be O of n squared times O of m. So let's hop over to the code and see exactly how this would work. So the first thing we're going to do is build that formatted array of all of our equal length strings. So we're going to just go and find the length of the longest number that we're given in nums. Then we're going to build that formatted array. So for each number in our nums array, we're just going to take however many zeros we need to make it equal to the longest string in our array. So we could say is equal to the maximum length minus whatever our current length of our string is. We're going to do that many zeros and then just add our string onto that. And this will result in an array where all of the elements are strings and they're all equal length with leading zeros. Then we're going to keep track of our pairs in this variable, and we're going to go through in 2 nested for loops. So for each iteration of these for loops, what we're going to do is get a count of both I and j. If they are not equal, we said that we know that we cannot make these equal by swapping at most one pair. We're just going to continue past this. There's no point in doing the mismatch check at this point. Then we're going to check for our mismatches. What we're going to do is we're going to go through all the indices. And remember, these are going to be the same lengths. We can just use one index here. And if at any point they are not equal at that index, we're just going to record a mismatch. After we go through the whole string, if our mismatches are less than or equal to 2, this means that we have found an almost equal pair, and we know that we can swap 2 indices and make these equal. So we just record that in our answer. Then at the end, we're just going to return that variable. So let's submit this and make sure that it works. And it does work. So hopefully this was helpful and made sense. If you're liking the content, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And thank you for watching.